Hello. Hello, am I here? Am I there? I can't seem to hear myself. Am I there? No. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Bitcoin dumping as I come on. It's been a tough week for the bulls. Hasn't been a lot of bullish trading, to be honest. It's been an up and down choppy couple of days after that nice Ethereum pump that got everybody crispy. Let's take a look and see what's happening here for Bitcoin. Shout out to all the beautiful souls out here watching on the live stream. Thank you for jumping on in. My name is Sam Price. This is the Crypto Lifer Show. I don't know how we've done it, but we've gone live every single day since February of 2021 without a day off. You can watch it. You can snap it. You can go and, back test that and look for every single day. We've never missed. And sometimes multiple streams in a day. God bless everybody here at 103,440 for Bitcoin. Only trade I saw possible was the Ethereum trade. Still kicking at 25.93, not too bad. My stop is below that 200 MA. Using these previous resistances as support, can we hold this level? And again, it doesn't have to be an exact line. It's kind of like a zone, but I'd like to see us hold the zone. All right, as long as I can stay above this 5-minute 200 MA, possibly the 15-minute, the 15-minute 200 MA here. It's like I was hoping at the 5. It's got to be stronger than that. But that's my key idea. We lose this, we fall down, I get stopped out. And then Ethereum may be making more of like, what if it's making a shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, right? I'm just, I can make it look better for you. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. But it would look something like that, a complex head and shoulder to the downside. These things are possible. I'm open-minded to anything. I never kind of, everyone else is like, it's going to be this way. I'm always like, you never know. I get overly bullish at times, but you never know. Thank you for moving me over and down a little bit there. Appreciate that to the team. And shout out to all the beautiful lifers, man. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for your constant support. So that's my only trade I'm in right now is Ethereum. I'm off of Bitcoin. It's been choppy. I'm off of other alts. I'm not doing too many crazy things here. Just hanging. Virtuals looks interesting to me. Sitting at 194, but still also looks a bit sketch. So everything kind of waiting to see what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing. And so we're going to start off with BTC and break it down, but I want to just kind of show you exactly what I was thinking this morning. So a different kind of week. Usually the last Tuesdays, Monday night, Tuesday night, we've had some really good moves. It's the first Tuesday night in a long time that I haven't been able to kind of pull off some chubby wins. But we got a lot of wins recently. So it's okay. I took an L yesterday as well, so it is what it is. And maybe I took a small L, it might become a bigger, there might be a bigger, fatter dump. Usually that's what happens, and then you basically reward yourself for being cautious. So let's take a look at what's happening here for Bitcoin right off the bat on that 2-hour time frame. That's a bearish engulfing candle on the 2-hour, right? Just if you just view that immediately, that gives you a little cause for alarm there. And then that's a high, a low. That's a lower high kind of being put in. Do we make, so we continue on some downtrend there. So the first thing we want to look at is the weekly. In the weekly, it closes on Sunday night at 103,343 right now, just in case you wanted to know the price of Bitcoin. It's right there. You can see it right on my left shoulder, Something shoulder, right? Yep. Put your hand. But so, look. The weekly is bearish if it closes like that, right? And then you've got yourself a bit of a double top. I'm the only guy who kind of says what people don't want to hear. And, again, everything's looking ready for a huge move, supply shock, all that. The story's great, right? But we are a little far away from the 21-day moving average. I can't stand, I don't know. The last time I said that, we had to come down. Last time we said that here, we had to come down. Even there, right there, we had to come back a little bit. Right there, we were away from the 21. This whole rally, we've been doing well. But just, something to heed. I like that little bounce there for Bitcoin. Get it back to 103.5 would be nice. Psychological support of resistance, just right off the bat. But so the weekly here, just something I'm seeing off the top of my head. So the weekly here, that closes bearish. If that's what we're going to get on Sunday night, that's tweezer tops on the weekly. Last time we got that, a little bit of a pullback. Last time we got it there, a definite pullback there, a pullback too as well. All right. So beautiful tweezer bottoms sent us booming for 5 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. I mean, there was monster moves here. We took a bunch of gains. We made a lot of money. There was good trades to be had. Now what? Now we got to really, understand that there possibly could be even a weekly pullback. Could be 4 to 6 weeks of pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of pullback back to the 21, and then this could turn into a cup and handle. You see? Then we get to about 126,000 by July. We still would get there by July. Isn't that crazy? Even with this insane pullback through all of June, we'd still get to 125,000 before October, which is crazy. Then we'd get, you'd hope for another couple week pullback, right? Even if that took, weeks, all through August and July. And then we start our late August kind of move here, and we pump all the way through September, October. It's crazy. I mean, this would be a sustainable rally if Bitcoin just continued to do these types of things. I just want to see I haven't done this ever. Again, I'm not saying this is absolutely realistic, but. And then the blow off top to 182,000 by December. It's crazy though. See, even with all these pullback, and they could even be steeper. But if Bitcoin pulls back that many times, you're still at 100, and people don't realize this. So, and that's 1, 2, 3 pullbacks. That means we would be dumping for, 5 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks possibly, 5 to 6 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks there, And that's a total of 15 to possibly even 20 weeks, but that's our road to the top. It's not always going to be pretty. I'm just showing you, even when you get there. Again, the moves have been a lot bigger, suggesting maybe we do a very large consolidation and we master a bigger leg with a little less pullback there, which still gives you, into October, December, 167,000. And then I always kind of want to feel out the parabola. What does that mean? Well, once you're on a trajectory on a parabola, it usually will keep the trajectory. The parabola will tell you kind of where you're going to go. So there it is. This does this all the time. I go up a little high and then you end up touching one of these. And it throws off the chart. I think I went to Hikinashi. Crazy, right? And somehow it deleted everything I just did. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. I'm still in Hikinashi. All right. And so I just want to show you something here. So we take a trajectory of this parabola, right? And you can see, it has a blow off top, 225. It's going to, you can just see how it's moving up. So, and again, no guarantees here, but it's showing a pretty big move for Bitcoin as it dumps, though, at a 103.2 tonight. And again, I'm looking up at the top here on the 5-minute. We lost the 200 MA on the 5-minute time frame. The bears are in control. So anyway, this is kind of, even if we get a nasty pullback for the next 6 weeks back to 85,000, you get it? Even if Bitcoin dumps right now, back somewhere to 85K and pumps, it makes it, you know what I mean? We're still on a big trajectory. People got to zoom out. And because Bitcoin's been running the show, it's been hard to make tons of money on altcoins because you get this big Bitcoin move, not a lot of altcoin moves, and you got to just know what to trade. I've been swing trading altcoins and taking mine. Just knowing that it's just not worth it and waiting for really simple ideas, waiting for all the moving averages to be low, tight together, and for multiple, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily to be oversold. I'm just waiting for multiple confluences before I even think about grabbing a trade. And then once I see things are sketchy, I'm not over trading. All right. I'm using the market to tell me what to do. It took you years to do this. As a beginner trader, I used to force myself on the market. That's what you do. You don't know what better because you're trying to feel out the market. So you got to find the struggle between the energy. So you put a lot of your energy onto the market, right? The market rejects the energy. You realize that you have to kind of feel out the market's energy. And then you have this battle with the market until you find synchronicity And then you realize when the market is telling you no, and then when the market's telling you yes, and like you can feel out the vibes, 5-day chart looking bearish too. You see, like if that closes as such, that's gonna be 1 day and 10 hours. So tomorrow night, right, which is gonna be Thursday night, that closes like that. That's a bearish close on the 5-day. 3-day chart also kind of suffering a little, and we've had a beautiful pump, everybody, and we're away from the 21-day moving average. It would be very healthy to have a nice pullback. And then the daily. And I've also been saying, there's no guarantee we'll have a pullback. Just like here, we went beautifully sideways. Here we went sideways. We didn't dump back down to the 21. And you can see a golden cross approaching here, which tells me that, something big is eventually going to happen. As the 50 crosses the 200 somewhere by the end of May, which means we would be like already kind of moving up by then, then this would cross. And it suggests you got to be somewhere at 119, 120,000 by the end of June or July based on how I'm reading the moving averages. Whenever I've seen this, and again, I'm not saying this is guaranteed, but whenever I've seen it, we could backtest this on multiple assets. Right there, though, if you were to front run right here where the 50 was about to cross the 200, you can see the 50 curving up. And what I would say to you back then, I would say, well, you could see that we're going to cross it somewhere here, which means Bitcoin has to be moving, because when that happens, the price is pulling and it pulls up the moving average, right? They go hand in hand. And then it tells you that you got to be somewhere up in here, because after a golden cross, these move out 50 and price action has to be somewhere up in here. That's just what it says. You could go back to the last time too, it happened here, and the same story. You could be like, well, we're about to cross it. Price is here. We're going to have to pump at one point to pull it up. And then if we cross it here, price has to be further up than it is. And there, price went from 27 to 45,000. And here again, if you front run it right there. So the last 1, 2, 3 times, it's been absolutely hot sauce, right? So this would be the 4th time you get a chance to do this exact signal, which is very rare. Very, very rare signal. So for me, the range, DCA anywhere between 96,000 and where we're at right now, because, for me, again, I'm not a financial advisor, because you never know. And now I would count anything below 105, really below 100. And what do I mean by that? Well, I believe below 100,000 is now the new threshold. That's kind of the new, I set psychological areas, because if you don't do that, you're going to lose. I've learned that in trading. For me, maybe you don't, maybe you have a different way, but I do it different. I do it like this. Like, for instance, I'm going to pick a random coin for a second just to show you what I'm talking about. ONDO. I look at ONDO. I look at the market cap. I see where it can go. Every time I'm about to buy it, I'm going to take you through kind of what I do when I'm about to get into a coin and why. All right. So let's just say I didn't know what ONDO was. Or let's just say I've known about ONDO since it was 70 cents. Okay. And I researched it and I'm like, okay. I see there's a lot of stuff going on with cryptocurrency. America seems to be pro-crypto. I would suggest for the next few quarters, if there is a rate cut or something, it's a pretty good risk-on asset bet that the fact that there could be some movement in this cryptocurrency market. Say I was just a risk-on asset guy. I had some extra cash floating around. And I knew that, okay, they're going to lower these rates, borrow cheap money, and then I'm going to be able to use it in the market, in a risky market, right? That's basically what's going to happen, everyone, in a nutshell, right? So I'm looking, and let's just say it's ONDO back at 70 cents, and I look at the crypto market, and I'm like, all right, the total market cap of cryptocurrencies, because you want to look at that, right? $3.33 trillion, of course, today, right? 333. Every time I do something, it's on the 333. I don't know why, it's weird, but hey, it is what it is. It means nothing. I'm looking for it all the time. It must be me. So 77, right? But look, so yeah. $3.33 trillion market cap. I would suggest, the last time we had a huge run, I was here 1 trillion to 3 trillion. So you suggest, is this going to go to 999? Maybe not the same gap that we had last time, but you would suggest that possibly 5, 6. It wouldn't be crazy to think, I don't know, $7 trillion, right? It wouldn't be crazy, in my humble opinion. My whole point is I could see the market cap getting a bigger move and getting some trillions. And that's the case. I want to see kind of what's going to absorb that. And I'm going to be looking at all the different cryptos. And then I find ONDO there, and I find out that Larry Fink, the big money, I make the connection, and I say, okay, I like ONDO. I'm just taking you through how I think of things, right? So now I've decided that the crypto market's going to go up. I've decided this, right? You know, I've speculated on this on my own self. You know, you do whatever you want. I'm telling you how I think. And so once I've done that, now I start looking for assets in the cryptocurrency market that I could take advantage of, right? And so the first safer asset, right? I don't want to look for the smallest thing ever, and I find ONDO, let's just say, and then I say, well, I'd like to get $15,000 position, 20,000. I tell myself to position 30 grand. I come up with a number, American, you know, that I have that I decide to allocate, and I'm like, all right, I'd like to allocate this much to ONDO, and I'm all set. And I'm like, this is what I'm going to be doing, right? And so I get it ready, and what I do is I start putting in 4 to 5 grand at a time. If it's 20 grand, you know, whatever it is, I basically do it in 4 to 5 segment buys usually. And I start DCAing, and then I have a limit. I said, I don't want to buy ONDO above $1, or I want to buy ONDO only between 60 and 85 cents. Once it goes above 85, I can't buy anymore. And I do my best to try to allocate. And sometimes I get the entire amount in. Sometimes I get a little more in. Sometimes I don't, you know, sometimes I get in only like 19 of the 20K or 18, and then it gets above my threshold. And then I, you know, depending on if I really like the asset, I might chuck the last bit in a little bit above. But most of the time, I'm pretty good about saying, no, it's above 85 cents now. I'm not buying anymore. And I'm really good about the levels. I said, these are the levels that I'm sticking to. And so I did this with ONDO, right? And I don't buy above $1 anymore, because I know that's, to me, it's overvalued. You know, I still think it's highly undervalued, but I'm like the penny pincher guy going to Frugal Fannies. You know what I mean? Frugal Fannies was, I don't know, it's in Boston. It may still be around. I don't know. But, you know, it was the penny pincher type. But, you know, you could go and, you know, what it was, Frugal Fannies. You know, and again, it was, you know, better. It was like better, you know, clothes that just, you know, you could get it at a less expensive price than going to the actual real designer, right? But the point is, I don't like to overpay for anything. I want to underpay for everything. So look, I see ONDO going sideways for 4 to 5 more days. Like everyone's been asking, I see the crypto market going sideways at best, right? And then a bigger move coming for whatever reason. So we got to weather the storm of Bitcoin, Ethereum. You know, we're getting a bit of a pullback here. Bitcoin looks like it's going to be losing 103,000. So anyway, I just wanted to take you through the thought process that I do. And that's how I DCA. To me, it's very simple. I pick the coin, I allocate how much I'm going to put into the coin, and then I stick to it until I hit my allocation. And then I hold the coin until I get to key levels that I'm looking for. Like ONDO, I'd love to sell it at $4 or $5. I mean, is that possible now? We'll see. I haven't been getting the movement in altcoins. Maybe I'll have to bail at $2 when we get back to the all-time high, you know. But for now, I do see sideways price action in a bigger move for ONDO. If you're just asking, wondering, or you got a question. Let's get back into Bitcoin. Apologize for segueing out of there for a second. I know you guys are like Bitcoin fiends, and if I don't leave, if I got to stay on Bitcoin here, or we're going to have some serious problems. And there we go. Gives me a little more space there. Yeah. I can shift myself on over there. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily. So the daily could just be doing what we did last time. And because, you know, usually if you're going to be making a dump, you'd already be kind of dumping down by now. The fact that we already have kind of 3 more sideways candles does start to suggest a nice sideways pathway for Bitcoin. So it's almost looking like maybe something like this is going to happen here. And then another big blast to the upside. We have a lot of support and resistance here for Bitcoin too. Previous resistance right there, and previous resistance right there. So resistance, 5 candles. And even a bounce, right? And then even right there, bounce, resistance. So that number, which is about 102.5, 102.422. But around the $102,500 area. Or is it 101? No, 101. Yeah, 101, 5,000. Really, it's 101,345 is what it's coming up with. But that's a key level. And then we have this other resistance where these 2 candles just hit. I always remember that was a big area. And that area is going to stick. That's like 102,350. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, and again, you wait it out. You know, someone could be buying right now, building these positions. inducing shorts, and then just, or inducing longs and just snatching them up, but building a bigger long position, snatching up stop losses along the way. The 21 comes into price with the daily. We have ourselves a pretty big move here for BTC. All right. RSI is a little high. There is kind of like a bearish divvy, though. It's not that strong, though. It's not like what you're really looking for, but it's possible. Don't want to hit A and L there accidentally. Put that in log. I don't want to put it in log. So anyway, we're a little high in the RSI, but again, I could see really one more bigger punch, and then a real good daily bearish div there, and then we'll start a short down, right? But looks like we could get one more blow off top on the daily in the next 4 to 5 days if this structure plays out as I'm looking at. And again, if you were watching my channel, I did the exact same thing here. So you call me nuts. People will call me crazy because I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea the fact of my own ignorance, right? And I'm sure there's better traders than me. There's, who knows? There's smarter people than me. I never said I was the greatest thing. All I can tell you is I'm the most consistent guy on YouTube. And I'll be here every single day, no matter what. And I'm going to learn from every single mistake that I make. And years of trading have helped me. So I sat here and I told you guys, if we can continue sideways, we can get a nice pump here. I said it'll probably take 4 to 5 days of sideways price action. Otherwise we can still dump. You never know. We have to be open-minded that, this could be a failed rally. Remember back here, I was drawing this. I said, but it looks like we broke out. And then we had bullish divergence on the daily, if you remember. And that's kind of what, and bullish divergence will change your life. I mean, if you can really see, it's one thing to know here, I'm going to teach. It's one thing. The first thing you do is you go to class, right? Like I have a class. I teach it the last Saturday of every month, right? Bang. I will teach it the 31st because I'll be home, all right? But check this out. If to hit the QR code or the link, and it's the last day of the month, this month, which isn't just 2 weeks, really, 16 days, 17 days. So hit the QR code to jump into class. There, I'm going to teach you divergence. All right, you're going to understand it in a way you've never thought about it before. I'm going to show you it in a way you've never realized. I'm going to teach you how to find it. I'm going to give you homework that's going to kind of better the way you look at it. Bitcoin getting a dump, 102.8. You can see we're really losing that 200 MA hard body here on the 5-minute time frame. Anyway, so the point, I just want to teach you more here for this moment than do live trading for just a second here, just because I'm seeing a lot of chop. But so anyway, we did fill out the flag. It did take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and then we pumped to the upside and we hit the exact target. You see, which was the algorithmic measured move, which is that wick to this wick. I've learned they wick to wick it, and that's what they do. Everyone else takes this thing, puts it in the pattern and all this stuff. No, I put it on the top, take wick to wick. And I didn't learn, no one taught me that. I just started doing it my dang self, and it worked out. And so I do measured moves differently than anyone you've ever seen online. Even my mentor, everyone else taught me the regular way, the little make a pole, put the pole in the candle. And again, that's fine. You'll hit that level too, and maybe it's good to be humble. It can't hurt. I'm not hating on it, but I just found a way to really hit the exact measured move. Like, look, we pull back exactly at that level. All right. Now, again, we're away from the 21-day moving average, and we start this game. And who was one of the only people online? I made this right. I made it, and I saw the fractal. I saw the fractal here for the daily. I said, man, that looks like Bitcoin's going to lift off. And you can see, you take the length of the pole, that, and boom. And so then I took the length of that pole, and I was like, man, that looks like it's going to lift. And it told you it was going to go basically right to about 104, 105,000. That's exactly where we went. You can't. This stuff is insanity. Actually says that it actually could go higher than 109, right? And now we're here, back at the similar place. And again, away from the 21, away from the 21, away from the 21-day moving average, right? This is why I teach the 21 so viciously, so insanity. This is why I'm on it like you wouldn't believe. Constantly teaching it. It's insanity. All right, Bitcoin getting a nice bounce back above 103K. Looks like they're going to flush these longs and shorts. Be careful today. They're going after leverage traders, I can tell. So that's why I'm not like hot, live streaming on the small time frame right now, because I can tell it's treachery. So we're looking for this sideways price action here on the daily time frame. And we're looking for the breakout to about $116,800. All right? That would that's where it would take us. We did the same thing here. We did the same thing here. I'm just doing the same thing. I got a golden cross coming. The 21 just crossed. These moving averages are just getting ready. This suggests that, we're ready to go. We'll likely, so it's telling me that it's unlikely we're going to drop where these two candles close today, which, and again, as I go on a limb and say that, right? But it's trying to tell me that, 1027, 1025 should be holding us today. And this should all just be kind of like, just a liquidity grab to scare people and to try to bounce out some longs. If this is the case, what they're going to do is what they did here. And what they did here. Here, they snatched all the shorts each time people felt like this was going to roll over. I think a lot of people had it drawn like this. See, I'm very keen too. My trend lines are awesome. They teach me a lot. I'm very, how I draw the trend lines, very important. People play around with their patterns and they think it's a game because we tweaked them and stuff. But I think people were playing this game. That's why I don't do that wick stuff. You know what I mean? If you were in the stock market, you'd be doing these wicks and you'd be like, I'm going to short that because that's the top of the level and we're going to drop down. But the keen crypto trader knows not to use wicks and knows, look, it's almost, I have this funny saying. It's really everyone's going to laugh at me. It's so corny. But there's 5 people in the car. You say, who wants burgers or pizza? 3 people say pizza. 2 people say burgers. So, and that's what you would do, right? And so I do the same thing. You're like, what are you talking about? Pizza and burger? You're out of your mind. Yeah, it would seem as such, making you hungry too. I know I don't have the munchies, but what I am talking about is this. That was back in college, But what I don't have is this, Bring that a little closer, baby. Come a little closer to me, mixer. So here's the deal. I was thinking about Dave Angel whenever I have the mixer near me. I don't know why. It's like, Dave, are you in the room? Where are you, Dave? Dave! Where are you, Dave? I know you're here, Dave. He's here in spirit. I haven't taken a look at the live. How many people we got here on the live? Wow, beautiful. 2,000 beautiful souls here on the live. 400 likes. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. That would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the love. So it's very keen that we zoom out every day and we really take a big picture look at what's happening. Otherwise, you're going to get caught up in this little sauce. Your mind's going to get micro analyzing, and then you're going to get crazy. That's how you lose a lot of money leverage trading on small time frames. I do scalp small time frames, but you got to take a deep breath. All right. Can you zoom back in the class to scan? Yeah. I'm a much better trader. I don't get free. Just shout out to everyone here. Dave's not here. There he is. I see him. Rave Som Records, man. There he is. So anyway, we're seeing the sideways price action for Bitcoin. Nice little bounce to 103.3. And again, look, I got the 5-minute time frame above me. I'm watching it. Seemed like we did a double bottom off the 5. We're going to take a look. There could be a nice live trade on these time frames. Never count me out here on Wednesday. So yeah, we're looking for this daily candle. It probably closes red. No worries. But we're just looking for sideways price action. 1, 2, 3, 4 more, 5 more days possibly. And then a move. Looks like we could get that weekend pump. Or it could be Tuesday or Monday of next week where things get really, really ready to rumble. So that's, And again, I could be wrong, and we could take a nasty dump, down to about 97,000. But you would suggest that would, there's a lot of support even right there at 99. It's a lot of chop that we went through. That's going to be keen and give us, whenever you have a good chop, and when you look left, you have a lot of chop. It's hard to just dump through chop. If you look left and you have a fast move, that's a fast move. So when you bumped up, we went down pretty fast. And you can see we dump up and down fast here, dump down fast. You can see there's a fast lane here. So look, we had a fast lane up. Wherever you see a smooth move down, you can get a smooth move up. Same way, but this is a lot of chop. It wasn't a smooth move. It wasn't just so that why this tells us there's a lot of support in this area for Bitcoin. You can see the high volume node. You got above this too as well. That was a really big move here. These 4 candles 1, 2, 3, 4, they really were a statement. And then these 2 wicks said, no. Like, we're not giving 100K back so easily here. And you think about it now, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. We're still above 100,000. If this was a fake rally, like, we would have lost 100K by now, in my humble opinion. But again, I don't like to get too speculative. I like to look at the charts. So there's still a chance we are making a falling wedge and we could dump. I'm not saying we can, and we could still see 97,000, and that would be a blessing for everybody here that did not get in. But, you know, the other idea, why is that unlikely? Well, the fear and greed index went to 10 when we got to 84. It tells me there's going to be a lot of liquidity in the world market to get us to push down to that area again. And I just, you know, a lot of liquidity is going the opposite way. Bitcoin getting a beautiful punch back up here on that 5-minute time frame. Makes me want to kind of, you know, it's a nice double bottom there. Just wanted to show you for a second. I'm getting personally a lot of insight from this update. Look at 333333 all the way with the 33 and the 33 cents. And it'll just sit there for me and then it's gone. It's like magician stuff. It's really, really weird. And it's the eerie nature, right? We looked at the market cap earlier. It was at 333, right? Hey, watch, it's not there anymore. No, it should be there. Like, yeah, no, it's still 33. But today's that special day. So anyway, 333 again, there it is. And there it's gone. The point is, sideways price action for, I don't know, 3 to 4 days looks likely here for Bitcoin. And again, there'll be some moves in there. You know, it'll pump from 103 back to 104, 105 back down to 103, 102, 8 or 9, right? There'll be wicks, there'll be fun, there'll be some shorts, there'll be some longs. This is the daily time frame. But just don't get chopped up in that area. All right. Now let's move back to, so like I take deep breaths, I look at this, and yeah, and you can see the 12-hour, they're coming back down on the stochastics. And also kind of see, like, there is an M. I mean, there is a chance this dumps, but it looks, the daily has me kind of calm and saying, you know what, it's likely we're going sideways here. The same thing kind of going on the 12-hour, the 22-hour time frame. They don't look amazing, but they're not, you know, they're sideways. Kind of an M there, I'll give it to you. That could dump on you. I'm not, you know, let's be honest. And the RSI looks a little high. The 8-hour looks like it's rolling over a bit. 8-hour, it looks like it may be making a falling wedge, you know. So let's see, we got to see kind of how the day ends. We really like to see like a trend line like this hold out. And you know, have it go more sideways on the smaller time frame. That'd be more preferable. So far, it looks like it may be happening. And some days are for observing, and just some days you set what like should be happening, and you watch. And if at the end of the day you see that that's what happened, you're like, okay. And at night you take a trade before you go to sleep. You know, like something. It depends. It all. You know, there's no. I don't have a guaranteed exact time that I trade. There's definitely. I like Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night. This week is like the first week I didn't wake up to gains. You know, I'm like, dang, man. It's funny. It happened so many times that I was like. So we're watching the 4-hour time frame here for Bitcoin too, and we really need to get this bounce. It would be nice to get a bounce here for Bitcoin. I'd like to extend that a little bit. So come down a little bit. Come on down to 102.8. Otherwise, I mean, you can clearly see that's a double top, right? Like, I'm not trying to be blind. Everyone's like, oh, he's overly bullish. I see both concepts here. And that could definitely be a bit of an M. And M's break down. And you got a gap in the VRVP. And it says, hey, 97,000 could be waiting for you. So at 97K wouldn't be, I showed you, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. RSI also looks like it may be coming down on us a little bit. Bit of a shoulder, kind of an along, you know, kind of a head and shoulder there. It's hard to see. So it's not all bullish. It's not all bearish. Today's a day where we're going to really have to define, you know, some key levels. I'd love to see Bitcoin hold above 102,742. All right. So that's what we're watching here for Bitcoin. And I think that was a really good analysis for me personally, because like the last few days, there's been, you know, it's been some chop. It's been up and down. And you got to just, you know, look, you take off the moving averages. Look at price action for exactly what it is. There's so much information here in price action, just right here. You know, I like the indicators too. It's okay to have them, but price action tells a story. Like, look on the 1 hour. I mean, there's a head and shoulder pattern here. If you take a look, bit of a shoulder, a head, and kind of a, you know, that's... So if in like 2 hours we're dumping, I'm like, well, I you know, there was a head and shoulder there. Like, you can even see it takes you to 101,200. BOOKMAP's got liquidity to the upside, suggesting that we could get some short squeeze here up to 105,000. It's got liquidity on both sides too as well, but it does have some good liquidity up there. 105K, nice and red. My prediction for the day, Bitcoin goes sideways with a little bit of a move. Like, we kind of hang out, they play it like it's going to dump, but it comes out. We find some divergence on the small time frame. We come out. We end up somewhere here, right? Thursday night into Friday. We go sideways, and then boom. Maybe a huge move coming, you know, by Friday or Saturday. Bitcoin starts to break out of this flag. If it loses this, it bears retest, then we know we're kind of doing, and then we know the daily's making the falling wedge. So we already have the bigger idea set up for where it's going to go. We already have the bigger idea for setup if it's bullish. If the smaller time frames begin to confirm bearishness, we're already, I've already told you exactly what's likely going to happen there. If the smaller time frames get the bounce, then we, you know, and we're ready to play it either way. And at one point, you have to take a shot and put a stop loss and decide which probability you're going to take. And to me, that's all it is. Trading is not being a magician. It's not a prediction. It's saying, hey, here's the probabilities. I've back-tested everything I can. I've fed myself as much information. And you got to be honest with yourself. Have you really put in the work? And you're like, I've put in the work. I've got a model. I've back-tested. I've really done what I should be doing. And you'll know morally, like deep inside, whether you've put in the work as a trader. You know, that's the thing about trading. Like, there's these questions deep inside. You'll be all alone. And you'll be asking yourself, and you know the answer. Like, you're playing games with yourself, and you know the answer. Like, some days you're like, should I trade this or not? And it's like, well, like for me, when I open trades at 2 a.m., like, it's usually not the best idea, right? Open trades between 11 and 12, go to sleep, you know. But I don't know, after something about after 1, 2 a.m. for me, don't have a good hit rate. Usually it's like, you know, your mind's not working, you're tired. People forget when they're overtired. And you'll do things in your, you know, so you got to protect your own portfolio by protecting you from yourself, by getting a good night's sleep, by working out. Like, I worked out this morning, it reset my entire brain. You know, I'm on a good wavelength. I feel it, high frequency behavior. That's going to help me hone in on the charts. I said, you know, today I'm going to have a great live stream because I worked out. When I work out, I'm benefiting everybody here on the live because I'm giving myself endorphins, right? And again, any human being, when you work out, it's part of success. Research any multimillionaire, billionaire, anyone that's made any, you know, anything that you want to read a book about, done something cool with their lives. They either get rich and decide to use that money to get healthy, or they've always been getting healthy and it was part of their routine to get rich, you know? And like I said yesterday, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You know what I mean? You can't be great without starting. That's why the secret to success is getting started. Bitcoin, 103,333 is like this key level. So I'm looking for chop Bitcoin here. And then a move back up. And sideways price action could be great for Mr. Ethereum. So we're looking for ETH. Look, it did dip a little bit here. And it dipped to like 558. Look at that. Got very low. But it bounced off the 200 MA there on the 15-minute. As long as it can stay above that 200 MA, we could get the move there. But it dipped into, you know, the local area. You know, you figured it would bounce and not retest, but it's really getting in there. There's a chance Ethereum falls off here too, right? Or it just dips and, you know, there's a lot of stop hunting going on. I've been seeing it. Like, if you weren't in the trade already and taking the long up, you know, I was in some monster trades. I sold them like around here. And I've been scalping around. I got hit off yesterday scalping, so I've been like, I kind of learned my lesson. I'm like, the market's been a bit iffy for scalping. Oh yeah, so when I change it, I just got to remind myself there. But see, you know, this trade's still in the running. We'll see where it goes. And yeah, we'll go from there. So if we get the bounce, it would be beautiful here for Bitcoin and Ethereum. That could be the last bullish price action we got. Look, a bullish divvy. And we're bouncing off the 200 MA on the 50-minute time frame. Could be a legendary buy there at 25.62. I've seen it off the 200 MA there. Bit of an uptrending cup and handle, I call these. Ascending cup and handles. I basically made that term myself. Just have a higher side cup. You know, the right side of the cup is higher than the left. Half a cup of handle. We have some funny names for that. I've seen this play out many times on many altcoins too. We'll see. No guarantees. But this is the trade we're looking for here for Ethereum. You know, stops could anywhere between 25,550, 2,500. Entries could be now even still. And again, it takes guts, right? Scared money don't make no money. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taken as financial advice. Just because I may make this trade doesn't mean you should. It has to fit your trading platform and understanding, and you have to have the education. I'll give you the education so you can understand how to use these technicals, the VRVP, the moving averages, right? The MACD, the RSI, the stochastics RSI. That's what I'm using. But you can also see how much I'm talking about price action, trend analysis, support and resistance, and candle bodies. There's a lot of information from the actual chart alone, naked charting. Like remove all the indicators and drawings, right? Look, there's so much information right here. Look, it's just the previous resistance is support. The SR flip right there. That's all I need to see. I made many a trade based off this alone, and it's played out. All right. And you say, Sam, why do you have so much on the chart then? It looks like graffiti. I get it. It just kind of, you get into a way of trading, and it becomes kind of part of you. And so I have a way, you know, a system, and you know, you get stubborn about it too. Shout out to the 556 likes on the thank you, dear Lord, for the beautiful likes. 556 people are hitting that like button. It's absolutely amazing. That is an absolute blessing. And dear Lord, thank you for my channel. Thank you for my ability to influence them and to stay positive every single day. Shun the trolls and be all open and loving to the people that love me. Always make sure the stream is full of positive energy, light, love, and happiness and education. And thank you for waking me up every day, making me feel grateful for everything in my life and realizing that what I have is a blessing. Never focusing on the negative, focusing on the positive, and realizing there's abundance around us, and I am the opportunity, you're the opportunity, each and every one of us is the opportunity in our lives. If we believe we're the opportunity, we become it. You know, every single day we have to keep telling ourselves we are the opportunity. And it's not about being pompous. Think about it. If you tell yourself you're the opportunity and you start, like, let's say, you know, a restaurant or a car wash, you're going to hire people, right? And you're going to give them an opportunity. So then you're going to become someone that actually helps the neighborhood, creates jobs, right? Helps the GDP of your country, supports the actual business sense of the entire world, and moves the needle, right? And that means, so if you believe you're the opportunity, you're only going to help other people find opportunity through you. And so it's a blessing. And then you can also inspire others to go after their dreams and their hopes and their beliefs instead of sitting, you know, in a cubicle like I used to, doing nothing with their lives. And I'm not doing nothing, but, you know, realizing they could be doing more. So today is a sketchy day to trade. Right now, we're kind of looking for price action to hold some key levels. We did get a nice bounce. We're back at 103,300. I'll take it. But you can see kind of the sketchiness here for BTC. I do like how we're, you know, there's a chance we're hitting the, you know, don't like using that wick, but there's a chance we're using this nice level for a bounce. Previous resistance is forming a bit of support there at 102,800. And the eights, man, it's all about the eights. 102.8. You would look for that to be a bounce area. Again, I'm still a bit wary of this shoulder, kind of head, shoulder. And there's a big chance that we're about to get a nasty dump here for Bitcoin to the 200 MA on the 1 hour time frame. The first thing that will happen is we'll lose the 15-minute 200. And then we'll start to kind of, you know, play games around here, and then we'll start to drop. Right now, it looks like we may be doing that. So just, you know, hang tight. There's a bit of bullish divvy there on the RSI, though. Look, the RSI is swinging up on, and you can always double check on the RSI. You can double click on it. But clearly you can see that RSI is moving to the upside. And any indicator you want to see all by itself, double click on, you'll be able to see the whole screen. Nice and neat. But then you can see the price action's moving down. That's a sign that we could get a bounce here too. It's called bullish divergence. And you want to, specifically you want to get it with a curving stochastic RSI and a curving MACD. That gives you kind of that sense you will get the bounce. Yeah, so I just see treachery today. Either they're going to kind of pull off what looks to be like a right shoulder here, bring it on down, maybe bring it back up, rip it here, or it is going to be a massive short. I'm not a fan of shorting a big uptrend. We're in a pretty big uptrend. Once I see us lose like maybe the 4 hour, the 1 hour, 2 at a May, and we really start to make bear flags, then I possibly put out a short. And we put out a short, was it 2 days ago that played out, right? So it's not like I don't short the market, but it's just, I like to go with the overall macro trend. And right now the macro trend is to the upside. So it tells me that the probability of winning shorts is lower than longs. So I should be just looking for longs more than looking for shorts. That's just how I trade, though. And it's the math. It's hard for me to go against the math. The math's telling me, why would you go against efficiency? It's inefficient to short at the present moment. I mean, it could be a double top. We don't know. But to me, the efficiency, it's inefficient to short at the present moment by the mathematical standards. It's telling me no. I should take mathematical standards, right? And so we get below the 4 hour 200 MA, we start to actually make a bigger downtrend, and the trend, it becomes our friend to the downside. We take out this low here at 1015. You see Bitcoin come and take out this low on the 4 hour time frame. For me, then it's time to short this segment, something here, and because then the trend's our friend to the downside, and we got to target down to 96,000. And I'll short this area here. Other people are already building their shorts up at the double top. I get it. They're already in profit too. But it's just not how I trade when we're in an uptrend. Everyone has their kind of thing. So, again, you can see how the 4 hour is a bit of a double top right there too, as well as the weekly. So, a little bit of a pickle for Bitcoin right now. It doesn't look amazing. And look, the 4 hours kind of indecision on the stochastics RSI. Actually pointing down, trying to curve back up, attempting to, but that's definitely a double top on the 4 hour with resistance. A head short wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Like you just, you sit here and, because, and again, like I showed you, you make sure that you make the same amount up that you would lose on the way back somewhere here. Cut off the short if you kind of hang out sideways. But if you start to dump, you basically keep the short on, and you don't have to long anything really, and just, if you start to see the market look different, you open up a long, just in case, you know what I mean? And if worst comes to worst, they could pump it up and pump it down. I've seen both things happen. You could lose both, but the odds of this one would be better that it wouldn't happen. It comes up here, then you take the quick long scalp off the table. You could even keep the short there, because then, that covers basically the stop loss. You just do the math to make sure that the pump up here covers the stop loss on the short. That's just an idea. These are just concepts and ideas of what's called hedging. That way, if this double top tumbles to the downside, you're covered. Do I do that? I've done it 4 or 5 times in my life. It's not my specialty, but mathematically it makes sense. And it could cover you no matter what. Some people love doing this. It's their thing. They got going short and long. I'm not going to say it. You know what it is, because it gets picked up by the algorithm differently than it should. It's a boo-boo word. I don't want to be a boo-boo guy over here. No profanities. We keep the show super clean here. We don't talk about nonsense. It's a family-friendly show. You can watch it with your kids, with your son. Let them know about cryptocurrency. I know a lot of fathers that say, hey, my son tunes in with me and we learn crypto together. Thank you so much, Sam, for keeping it clean, because if not, I wouldn't be able to do this. I got bonded with my son because you made the show, clean. And again, everyone wants to swear and have fun, but it's someone's got to keep it clean for the family. Someone out here has to keep a clean show. And I'm not, I'm just, we got a lot of jocks and cool guys. I like everyone out here, but I guess, I'm 42. It's my job. I'm the mature guy in the space, and again, I could forego some money. Maybe I'd be more marketable if I was cooler, and I wore a hoodie like I used to. But, I like to keep it clean for the families and for the people out here, so the next generation can learn the new form of money. That's what this show's about, too, is really spreading the knowledge about Bitcoin. They continue to print money throughout the world. They're going to continue to print your money to zero over time. It's only a matter of time. Whatever money you hold, whatever currency you're hanging out with, is eventually going to go to zero. So look, I am starting to see this shoulder, this head, this right shoulder. It's starting to get alarmingly bearish here for me on Bitcoin. And I could see us make a dump down to the 1 hour 200 MA at 101.5. Looks likely to me now at this point. We're going to have to, the bulls are going to have to show me we can hold 102.8. Or I could see a dump here for Bitcoin. Bit of a double top too as well with heavy resistance at 101.8. So the key is like probability looks short. If it bounces and goes sideways, then I could long later on tonight. You know, you don't have, see, that's what I love about my system. It tells me what to do when it's time to do it. I don't got to force any trades or make it happen if I don't need to. And if I see that the market's not going to go right, then I could take a chill pill. And I stay away from crypto Twitter and YouTube, because if you go on YouTube and crypto Twitter, you're going to watch everyone, I got these trades open, boom, boom, boom. And no one's going to say anything about a pullback. It's all up only right now on Twitter. More trades, more leverage, you know. And again, I'm not saying I don't trade leverage at the right time. But I mean, Bitcoin just collapsed down to 103 again. And you really got to be keen on the 200 MA here on the 15-minute time frame. We lost it there, got it back, lost it again. I'm not saying we're going to dump for sure, but it's Wednesday. We usually have good liquidity. Another thing I want to show you, though, is tomorrow's another day we got to watch out. Remember, we wrote this down, but tomorrow at 8:30, we have core PPI, core retail sales month over month, PPI month over month, retail sales month over month, and unemployment claims. That's a lot of red folders on the day at 8:30. That's a lot of information that's going to move the bill. And the market's definitely going to react to this. Your forecast at 0.3 at core PPI, core PPI month over month is 0.3. The previous was negative 0.1. All right, so if we can come in at 0.2, it would be great, right? Anything below 0.3 would be better. Price per, producer price index. So, and they put a lot more weight onto this too. And then unemployment claims. We'd like to see this lower, right? You know, forecast at 228, previous comes in at 226, 227. And then Fed Chair Powell's going to speak at 8:42, which is like, oh, that's great. That's another red folder. So tomorrow's going to be sketchy. And that, I'm telling you right now, traders look at that, and big money moves the market. And so there's already people that are probably going to, hold off from trading tonight into tomorrow. And that's going to throw us off on our Thursday trading a bit. You got to be able to read through the lines, the tea leaves, so to speak. And then if there's less traders in the market, you're going to see they're going to be able to short sell on you because they got a thinner order book. And if we've been up mostly, and most people are, we're up only. What do you think they're going to do? Shred this, So be careful if you're overly long here on anything, Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, For me, it's best to swing trade when the prices kind of resolve. Like, Bitcoin gets a bounce here, goes sideways. Because again, it's not. I don't want to be paying doom and gloom. Like, chance Bitcoin goes sideways here, we get the bounce. 6-7 hours from now, that's the time for me to look for longs, because the market's going to get that sign of relief. Altcoins could get ready for the pump, and things will change. And you're going to get that movement, that wiggle room that you're looking for. You need the extra volume, everybody. If you don't get the extra volume, you're going to be clamped. You're going to be the one out there. You're going to be that one deer in the woods. You don't want to be the only deer out there. You got to have multiple deer in the woods to get by. Otherwise, you're getting picked off. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be the only fish in the sea. And a lot of people are going to be weary. The market's going to be a little sketchy because of that red folder tomorrow. We're right on the line right now. Previous support is resistance. This is it. I mean, we lose this. You drop to 102.2. And then it just looks like 101.2 is just evident, is just coming. Got to get a bounce, I'd say, in the next hour for Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything really. I just want to look too. We got some coins that are still hot. that have been looking interesting. I'm going to bring them up in a little bit. But yeah, you can see Bitcoin looking ugly. I mean, and again, I'm always more bearish when we lose 200 MAs. A little bit of bullish divvy here showing signs of love. We got to get the bounce on the bullish divergence. There's a good chance we will. That's a very strong bullish divvy, and we got low stochastics. Let's see this. If you're just learning divergence, this would be cool to watch it bounce for your first time. You'd be like, wow. Now I like, wow, what a, uptrend on RSI, downtrend on price action, because it's not really an indicator. You can find indicators that are going to find it for you. Like here, it found a bearish div right there, and we did tumble to the downside there on Bitcoin. This indicator called it out. This is the stochastics RSI with divergences. You would find it by going up here and typing in RSI, and then stochastics RSI with divergences by neobutane 2K right there. This is the one. Stochastics RSI with divergences. All right, make it nice and easy for you there. So let's get the bounce. Let's see this divergence in action here for Bitcoin. Still, even if we get the bounce, in the back of my mind, I see this kind of possible head and shoulder too. So I'm always playing chess with the chess player. I don't know what the chess player is going to do. You don't know what the chess player is going to do on the other side of the board, right? No. Stop telling yourself you know where price action's going. You're not a genius. I'm not a genius. None of us are. We're just simpletons playing probabilities. All right? That's it. That's it. I'm not saying, actually, you know what? You're all geniuses in your own way. But we don't want to be like too uppity about our wins. Oh, I'm the best in things in sliced bread because I read a Fibonacci bounce, or because you got, it just means you played a probability correctly on that very given day and things went your way. Sometimes they don't go your way. A loss is a loss, a win is a win. We have to extrapolate the information and not even really take it as that big of a deal. It's got to be just information. Again, too, bounce, bounce, bounce. You got resistance for Bitcoin now, too, at 1035. Got to break back above that. Just because, look, there's a bounce there. Look, there was a, you wicked up, you fell below. You wicked up, you fell below. You bounce, 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 resistance. You bounced, basically bounced. You had a little chop around there. You bounce, bounce, bounce right there. So now you can clearly see you got to get back above that key level. And so how does this all work? Well, I've learned and backtested this theory, and I've watched price action. And what price action does is it's just like me and you, right? Energy is energy. How does energy begin? Me and you are energy. When I walk on a 1 mile trail, I have to go for a 1 foot in front of the other first, right? I have to step for 1 foot at a time. So when I begin energy, I have to do small energy to create a large amount of, everyone say, wow, you walked 2 miles. That's a lot of energy, right? But it started with the first bit of energy. Very similar to trading. The first thing that will happen is the 1 hour will get that energy and pump. The 1 minute will get the first really step of any bullish reversal is the 1 minute will regain the 200 MA. For instance, if you can't regain the 200, like you kind of do this stuff like this, then there's no way you're going to, look, like I just made it, inadvertently I made a head and shoulder without even trying. Creepy, right? Yikes. But the point is, we already know that and again, I went and backtested this. Look at any single big rally in the history of any coin. Any asset in the world, from Walmart to Oscar Mayer Wiener, you know what I mean? I don't know why I said that, but I don't care, to Boar's Head, I don't care, to Costco stock, I don't care what it was. We're looking for a bounce that takes you back above the 200 MA. And this is a beautiful double bottom here, a little bit of bullish divvy, but definitely a bit of a double bottom. Double bottoms break up 68% of the time. So you would be taking your measured move here. So this says there's a 68, basically 70% chance that you're going to break back up to 104,000. That's what this suggests. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but that's what this pattern suggests right now. There's people trading this right now. There's people that got in right there at the double bottom. They had a pattern recognizer. They saw it, depending, whatever it was. They had a bot. But there's people that got into that position at the very moment. All right. Chance that plays out pretty nicely. Well, you never know. So what I do is, again, I watch the smaller time frame, see if we get above the 200 MA. If that happens, I have a strategy for trading long. We get above the 200, I wait for the 21 to cross, we make a flag. That's when I execute a long. I already know when I would long. I'm not going to touch the long till I see that. Every once in a while, I catch a reversal, but it's rare. It's what I used to do a lot, and that's why I got chewed up more than now I don't because I use the 200 more. Again, we're below the 200 now. It tells us that the shorts are more in control in the smaller time frame. And then we'll start losing the 200 on, the 15. Your next stop would be a drop down to the 30, right? Are you already below the 30, 45? Yeah, the 1 hour, really. You're waiting to drop to the 1 hour 200 MA. You see? I'm not saying it's happening for sure. And there's a battle right now at this 15-200. Look at the big wick back to the upside. Bullish divvy on the 15-minute. Strong. We should get a bounce off the bullish divergence. See how there's different probabilities at the same time? Yeah, and you got to fish through them. You got to fish through them. I like this bounce here. I'm looking for the bounce. It's looking, I say we bounce. Probability to me is we bounce. But you never know. And I don't like to, I don't know. I have to say I don't know what's going to happen because that's the truth. I'd love to be like, oh, I'm right all the time. It's going up. And then when it goes up, be like, yeah, I'm so smart. But I'm just someone who can read the probabilities pretty well. So we're looking for Bitcoin to not make that right shoulder and dump on us. We're in a very tight spot here because, the next 5 hours is going to tell us a lot. We're going to end up somewhere back up in here hanging out and everyone's going to be like, you were scared. No, you were scared. Or there's going to be a dump. Once it dumps, people are going to start saying that's an M and there's more to come. And you're going to get the naysayers saying that's the end of the rally, dead cat bounce. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to create more fear. So, this trend line is really the basis if the bears come out to play on Twitter or if they get snuffed out and the bulls can control the narrative for the next few days. Really, the next 4 hours, and again, because that's what's going to happen, right? It starts to dump. You're going to hear all the bears are going to come out to play on Twitter, and they're going to control the narrative. You're going to see more people saying more bears up. We get the bounce here. Everyone's going to say, where are the bears at? And the bulls are going to control the narrative. That's why it's not good to listen to the narrative. You got to listen to the charts, because the charts are going to show us what the narrative is going to do. And so show me the charts, and I will show you the news here in cryptocurrency. Shout out to the 21 beautiful souls here on the live. 2,100. God bless you all. 665 likes. Everyone hit that like button. It's going to come back to you tenfold. It's the nicest thing you could ever do. You're helping my channel. I have a wife and 3 kids. It's a small business. We are blessed to have you here. Thank you so much. We love you. And shout out to my whole team that helps this show go. We appreciate everyone here that makes this show pump. So let's take a look. There's still cryptocurrencies out there that I'm kind of keen on and then I'm looking at. And if Bitcoin gets this bounce, which it looks like it possibly may, we're battling the 200 MA right now. We just hit it again and we're trying to get back above it. Look at that. Bullish pin bar too. Look at the size of that wick to the upside. That candle close is what we call a bullish pin bar. When you have that much of a wick with a tiny little green candle to the top. And again, see how the 200 is becoming a keen, because there's bots all around this. They take profits. The 200 is such a key level. It plays out over and over again. The fact that this candle has such a wick to the upside suggests we will get back above this and get that little move, at least back to the top. 103.8, flatten some shorts for a split second. But again, remember, shoulder, head, right shoulder. You're like, Dan, Sam, you're open-minded about too many things. You see it all. That's the thing. When you first begin trading, you only see a little bit, and you don't see it all. So it's okay. You can, and it's almost not as bad because it's a little simpler. As you start to see more, then you have conflicting evidence. Then you have to seep through that. Eventually, you're able to find the probability through it all. But there is a couple. There may be even like a 10-month period where you see more, and it gets even more confusing because you see more now. It's like people in relationships. When you didn't know a lot about people in relationships, you don't see as much. When you learn more, then when you meet people, you can kind of get some hints already that maybe you didn't know already. It's like, and it makes it more, the process of meeting and building a network isn't as simple as it was when it began, because you got to be more selective because you know more information. Similar to trading, you'll gain more information, but it'll take you time. Look, there's a lot of liquidity up there. BOOKMAP suggesting that we're going to the upside. That's what BOOKMAP says. That we're going to flatten the shorts at 105.2. But again, that's just, it's not 100%. But there you have it. It says eventually we're going to make it up there to 105 too, and that's just a wick really, or even right back up to this area. We can just wick up into here, wick up there, come back down. So we're looking for the bounce for Bitcoin here on the 15-minute time frame as we battle the 200 MA. There's a good bullish divergence, as I've said now, I think 4 or 5 times. This might be the 4th or 5th time. That means I've said it 3 times prior. But that's a nice bullish divvy. You can see it clearly. A nice uptrend. Well, there's a downtrend on price action. And it's got a nice hill too, giving it that strong confluence. And it's all about, can we just close another candle above the 200 MA here on the 50-minute time frame to give us even just a little pump back to the top of this channel. Nothing special. Not saying it's like, you know. And again, I see just chop for today. Not a lot, you know. Some days it's about to make a move and I'm like, hey, everyone, here it is. I don't see that today. I see more chop. It is a day to DCA to Bitcoin. It's always a day to grab a little more BTC. You know, while you're just thinking about it, because, you know, there's going to be a time where you just can't get these prices anymore. And people are going to forget. And so that's why I kept saying 103 is 100,000, because, like, I might as well start believing we're almost below 100K already and start DCAing, because if my mind's set like that, then no matter what happens, I'm going to be able to DCA. Like, everyone's like, how did you buy 84K? If, you know, we all said we were going lower. Sam, how did you do that? How did you fight the fear? How did you buy 76,000, 78, 81,000, 80K? How did you do that? Because I decided at that point that I was ready to buy 50,000 all the way up to 80K. You understand? Like, I was ready to open up the book and DCA all the way back to 50,000. I said, all right, here's my opportunity. I've been waiting for lower prices. This is it. I can't buy the top at 100. And then when I saw the fear at the highest it's ever been in years, I knew I had to take advantage of 10. You know, you don't get 10 on this fear and greed index. And so I've been around long enough to know when I should take advantage of a probability that I didn't know before. That's what I love about being in trading over 10. You know, I've been doing this in crypto since 2016 now, almost 10 years in cryptocurrency, which is crazy. One more year and I could be like, I've been in crypto for 10 years. I find that insane. I just started and I can say I've been for 10 years. It's a bit odd for me. Going on 42 years old, 42 years old. Can you believe that, everyone? You guys saw me grow up on this channel. I started this channel, I was 36, I think. It was 2019, you know. Because it'll be 2000, it'll be 6 years so the channel will be 6 years. I'll have to sit there and do the math and look at the math, but 5, you guys, and people watch my face change, you know. Someone's like, no, you look younger than you did when you started, lifer. And, you know, the energy never stopped, no matter what, because each and every one of you just kept coming back and giving me this awesome support. So I kept deciding I'm never going to stop doing this. And there's, you know, again, we won't discuss it, but there was obstacles. There was negative energy, always kind of thrown. But we persevered no matter what. And this channel continued to grow. Shout out to our channel, 96,000, almost 100 subscribers on our way to the upside here. Again, booming to the upside. I'm just unbelievably grateful. Thank you, dear Lord, for this life in which you've given me. You know, to work from home, number one, blessing. You know, home studio. To have my family and friends around me, unbelievable. And to be here with each and every one of you every day is just an absolute blessing. I just want to take a moment to say thank you. I mean, how many people get, you know, the ability to be around their kids, to be around their wife, to work with their wife every day. She doesn't have to go to work. I don't have to go to work. We work together. She doesn't work for someone else. We work together. And to have my kids with me, and to have God in my life, and to be a family man, and to have each and every one of you. Like, I could cry tears of joy right now. I'm not going to do that. We're going to get into crypto. We're going to get into the altcoins right now. But I just want to be so grateful. And I'm on YouTube. Like, everyone wants to be on YouTube. Like, I have a blessed life, and I know it. I never want to take advantage of it. Always want to be humble. And I just want to say thank you to every single one of you here. I'm so grateful for this journey, the Crypto Lifer journey, that it came out of nowhere one day. And here we are. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, we'll be at Bitcoin Vegas having a blast, meeting people and living the life again. And it's just from days of hard work. I look back and I'm like, how did it all happen? I'm like, because you never stopped. You know, like, no matter what the market did, like, you find opportunity. But, you know, I really believe I could never do it without, you know, all of you people that are here on the live today. So I just want to say thank you. And I say it a lot, but like, I don't know. For me, there's, you know, I live in abundance, and I just think there's never enough gratitude that you can give. You know, like gratitude is, if I live in abundance and I live in gratitude, then gratitude is the abundance too. So like, when can you stop giving gratitude? I just don't know when to stop. I apologize. I don't want to waste the show on it. I know we got to talk about crypto most of the show. And there's people that are going to be like, oh God, you know. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Let's move forward and get into cryptocurrency. Let's take a look at the super chats and see what's happening with the fan funding. God bless you all here. We got Nober AI. Can you look at GALA? Oh yeah, GALA had a nice little pump yesterday too, right after we talked about it on the live. So just to hold up for Bitcoin here. Yeah, I'm not saying, could be a nice bounce here for Bitcoin. We're still really, we want to see how that 50-minute plays out. Want to see if this kind of flag can, you know, eventually kind of move back to the top of the channel. Otherwise, we're going to drop to the 200 MA there on the 1 hour time frame. That's just kind of our next area, 1016, and we'll go from there. Chance we bounce, that's where we're all kind of watching for the day. And Bitcoin's been kind of flat and sideways. Ethereum looking for the bounce, but it's at 577. Looks like it may not hold. We really need the 15-minute 200 MA to hold here for the trade that I put out to the group to hold too. Let's take a look at GALA. Thank you so much for the super chat. God bless you for the £2, man. And that's going to come back to you tenfold. Giving on this channel will come back to you so amazingly. I just know it will. Everybody that gives, because every time I give, I get so much back. And then you're giving to me, a guy that gives, so I just feel like you're blessed if you're giving to me. And you're not greedy too, and you're not jealous. Like a lot of people, you know, you get where I'm at in life, and there's people that get jealous of you. I'll be honest, you know, and you can feel it, and you go through the pain of it. It's not fun, and it happens, and you always have to be cautious of what you're saying and what you're doing, because you could be, you're living in a blessed life. You don't rub it in somebody's face, but it's hard not to when you're on live streaming, right, every day. So people take it differently on the live, and it's just that, you know, when people give on the channel, they're like, wow, high frequency individuals. Like, they're not jealous of you at all. I'm looking for GALA to pull back on the daily, you know. I think most coins are just too far away from the 21-day moving average now on the daily time frame, and they just got to pull back. I'm not saying they're going to collapse or anything, but that would be a nice, healthy pullback. You know, it doesn't look like you could even lose 2 cents. That's what I see happening to GALA, though. Can we check TARS AI? What could be the all-time high? Thank you, says Act04. It's a very interesting question. Let's take a look at TARS AI, which is TAI. And they're backed by the Solana Foundation, so I keep thinking there's gotta be some love there, right? Wow, you can see there was that little flag there that it did pump up nicely to the top, and it double topped there, that's called what we call cat ears, right? So last time I saw it, it made it halfway through. But this is what I call cat ears, and then you break to the downside. I mean, it's exactly what it's supposed to do. That's crazy, right? Even looks like cat ears. You can see it. Anyway, we're going to break it down better for you. I just wanted to show you. I just like to, whenever I can teach you something, I want to teach you something. Okay, so let's look at TARS AI, TAI. Had a beautiful bounce off the bottom there, and people took advantage of that. Had a nice run up from 3 cents all the way to 14. Basically did a 5x, which is awesome. I mean, what more do you need? You know, a 5x here, a 10x here. I think the altcoin market's not, I'm telling my students, and the way I'm trading, I'm not, it's not like it used to be. It's like the stock market. You just got to take your gains as they come. Like there was a 5x there in TARS AI. And you get a 5x from April 19th to April 27th, like 10 days. You know, there's fast moves in crypto. And we had it. We were given the chart here and there. We were talking, that flag, we nailed it. I give awesome calls on these setups. So like, yeah, I just want to see it make more tight of an angle. And again, it might not go that low. I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I'm not a magician or a psychic. But, you know, I'd be looking for those levels like right there, that resistance. And what I do, I'll pull out the nice. Everyone's like, well, I know what you're asking. What price is that? I know exactly what you all asked. What price is that? I want to see. And I can't see, you know. So I made these beautiful big labels. So it's really obvious. I designed this. No one else uses these labels like this. I made these. I mean, they're there, but they're not big like that. You got to make them big like that. I did that because I knew people needed clarity. And who doesn't want a nice big level to look at? Like, there it is. So, you know, I'm bullish on this project, and I just want to see it make a higher high there and consolidate. If it makes a higher high and consolidates, I would trade it again. And it's telling me it can get all the way back up to the target. And if you say you need this again, you hold control. It's awesome. And then you can grab anything. Say you need this pole, you grab control. It'll grab whatever you have highlighted. So yeah, it looks bullish to me, but it just looks like it's going to consolidate a little bit and find its way. And that's going to, what people don't like is that could take 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? That could take 10 days, 12 days, anywhere between 5 and 7 days, 5 and 12 days. You know, I don't know exactly, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for this tight consolidation here. And so then that's what alerts are for. And then you start using alerts, you start paying attention, you start drawing. See, once you understand patterns, see, someone that says a pattern doesn't exist, they can't project a pattern. So they can't even see a trade before a trade happens. Now I can project patterns because I know they exist and I see them happen all the time. So I project patterns all day long. Then I set alerts on the patterns I project. And then when the patterns fill out, I know that trade's likely going to happen. Don't you understand? It's quantum theory. That's why I hit so much. That's why it looks like it's all a setup in a way. Like it is a setup. I'm setting up 10 of these and I only take the ones that I know are likely going to play. You know, I just love what I do. It makes so much sense to me. Other people think it's gibberish, and that's great. Bitcoin back at 103,370, getting the bounce. Getting the bounce, bounce, bounce. There you go, BTC. There you go. And again, save Ethereum here to bounce. Ethereum's just testing the waters here. This is its testing. This is the chance. This could be the last chance to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum before takeoff. I know people don't believe me, but there's a chance. I mean, you got this shoulder, kind of head right shoulder vibe. You get the bounce. Sam, you went from being so bearish to so bullish. I mean, this level is that keen. We lose that level, it's the M pattern, and then there's talks going down here. We keep this level, we go sideways. It's a bull pen that could break out. You get it? So, like, yes. What happens in the next 2 to 3 hours? I told you, 4 to 5 hours really is going to affect the next 10 to 12 days. And there's days where that's just kind of what it is. Beautiful bounce here on the 15-minute. Back above the 200 MA. I told you that's the key level. We got back above it. I told you it was likely because, I mean, what a wick we got there on that bullish pin bar. Again, still could be a shoulder, head, right shoulder. There's a lot of ifs and buts to the market today. That's why you don't see me live trading like hotcakes. I'm staying off the market. And it's a Wednesday, my favorite day to be live trading with good liquidity. But tomorrow, I showed you, is treachery with mad red folders. And that creates a bit of market just tension. And people tend to kind of hold on to their underwear, so to speak. Can we check on ONDO? I think we already did that in a way. Sam the man, thank you for being you and showing up, says Milligan's Travels. We love you, brother. Blessings to you and your family. Can we look at XRP, please, Sam? God bless, brother. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Milligan's Travels. And he's asking about XRPZ. Let's go to the... And so remember, Ethereum trade, can we get the bounce? We don't want to lose the 15-minute 200 MA. Very crucial. We keep this level. We keep this bubble. We get the bounce. And then we ride off into the sunset. Ethereum bounces to 3,000, and we all make gains here. Beautiful short squeeze. A cup and handle to the upside for Ethereum. Ethereum, as our famous buddy says. Let's take a look here at ONDO, and then we'll move forward with the altcoin cam. Yeah, we went over ONDO, kind of how I talk, but I didn't really look full. I just see, yeah, and I did in a way though. So ONDO has the same kind of thing, you know, previous resistance becomes support. We want to see sideways price action for the next 4 to 5 days for ONDO before I see a bigger move. But I do see it's getting tight in between the 200 and the 21, which tells me that's a buy zone between 98 and 112. I'm launched in ONDO. I have a big old bag of it. I'm ready to rock. I'll show my portfolio every single Thursday night with the entire crypto trading group. And we go over kind of what's happening, what I'm doing, and how we're going to persevere through this market. Bitcoin back at 103,003. You can see it's been kind of all over the place today, going after the small, anyone that's kind of over leveraged and too close to price action. You're getting bounced and trounced around. I know when it's time to kind of chill pill. And today is a chill pill day when it comes to leverage trading small time frames. So that's ONDO. Thank you so much for ONDO. Let's take a look at XRP from Milligan's Travels. He asked about XRP. Everyone wants to know a little bit about XRP. So do I. Let's take a look at XRP. So, I saw XRP breaking out. Let's be honest. I mean, that's a trend line. It broke the trend line. Remember, just right off the bat, I like what I see there for XRP. And that tells me that it has a measured move to 356. So that says you broke out of the trend line. You're on your way to 356. Tight moving averages. You're above the daily 200 MA. So that's a yes for me. Like, it tells me the trend's our friend. It had a shoulder, head, right shoulder that it basically, a lot of coins would have just ate grass right there. You know what I mean? Can't believe it didn't go all the way to the downside there. So it defied a huge complex head and shoulder. But the same thing on that daily, every coin that we're looking at is just away from the 21-day moving average. We had a huge pumps, everyone. Everyone just got in. So what happened was everyone who was smart jumped in, then the late people jumped in, then the leverage traders got in, and then the shorts got squeezed. And we got what I call the throw up, the boom. And we got, almost every coin. I mean, this thing's up from 209 all the way to 260. That's 60 cents in the stock market. They would be freaking out. 60 cents on $2. Freaking out. So, I mean, I just see a pullback of some type. I do see it holding some key levels like 230, 240. And again, maybe it's an uptrending flag. We don't know exactly, but it tells me that it's going to probably come retouch just like ONDO, just like everything I just talked about. And that's going to take me to total 3 because total 3 is probably going to look exactly like this. And so you're now going to start seeing what I'm saying. Yeah, so there's your daily for total 3. It pumped above the 200 away from the 21. And we do this every day on the 1 minute, everybody, constantly. This is the model. So what we're doing is we're essentially waiting for my model to play out on the daily time frame on total 3. When the 21's above that 200, and we're in this beautiful sideways position, and we're about to, that thing's going to blast. It just says we have about 5 or 6 days of sideways price action. I could be wrong. Maybe out of nowhere we just lift. We lift off. But I mean, I don't know. Looks like we got to get our act together a little bit more here. It looks like there is going to be a possible bounce here, though. Funny, then you would have a shoulder, head, right shoulder, right? And then maybe you could say you're just in this, and that's going to fly. And we may not have to pull back that much, but to me it says sideways price action. If we zoom in here, though, right? And again, what I say is not like I am not, the end all of end all here. I've made some amazing calls. I've pulled off some amazing stuff. But I am just consistent. I show up every day, right? So we're just, again, just like Bitcoin and everything else, we're looking for the bounce. And then we're looking to take off and go parabolico. Parabolic. Back to $1 trillion market cap for these altcoins. Ethereum getting the bounce. I like it. This could be your last chance to buy before any monster move. I'm telling you. This could be it right here for Ethereum. And I'm willing to take that chance. I got in on that risk. I just had to. I absolutely had to. And we'll see where that goes. We will see. Only time will tell. So Bitcoin battling the 200 MA on the 15-minute. Closed the candle above it. Wicks to it again, just hanging out. Not a lot of fun sauce right now, right? So I've given you the most bearish scenarios and how we get there. I've given you the most bullish scenarios and how we get there. We've had a really good long talk about Bitcoin. It's crazy how we can do this every single day, and it's very valid. There's good information here. even I am relieved. I'm like, wow, I'm happy I spent this time with each and every one of you. I learned more about the market. I understand the market. I have more insight in the market than I did before. All right. Shout out to Sam the Man. Thank you, Milligan Travels. And we looked at XRP. We looked at TARS AI, GALA. You know, where could TARS AI go at the top of this rally? Someone asked. For me, a little hard to tell at the present moment. I forgot that was like part of the question. I mean, I'd say back to its all-time high at 50 cents, and then who knows? It's hard to tell if it could ever even, you know, if it will go higher than that. I'd give it 50 cents and we go from there. Hey, Sam, can you look at token, please? And that should be token Fi, right? Oh, no, token looks like something. Oh, yeah, token. I still own some token Fi. Sadly, RWA, they got beat to the ground. But every RWA project got beat to the ground. You know, they know they're hot. They wanted to get in when no one was paying attention. It is finally breaking a long-term trend. And what it tells me is RWA is waking up. It is waking up. And it's starting to get started. The party is getting started. Tight moving averages tell me you'll pump up to the 200 MA. Whenever these are tight, you're going to pump up to the 200. It takes like weeks, so everyone thinks everything is so fast in trading, but trading takes time. It's a bit of an inverted head and shoulder here. It's watchful of what Bitcoin's doing. We just got to get that sideways price action, but it is waking up. And I do like what I'm seeing here for token, but wow, look at that dump just now. It just doesn't have a lot of liquidity. It's small. I'd be careful trading it, swing trading it. I'd DCA in if I like the project. I still own it. I might chuck a little more at the very lows because just to balance me off, but yeah. I could see a move coming up. I'm not saying it can't happen. I just like to trade bigger volume. Thanks for all you do, Sam. Please analyze the 10-year. It's a crucial level before the Fed potentially loses control and has to print. Thank you, Cosmic Lover. Let's take a look at the 10-year yield here. That should be it. Now, that should be moving with, you know, the SPY. The SPY, I'm messing with you. Okay. I mean, that looks bullish to me. Let's take a look at the weekly, though. I mean, it bounced off a divvy. It's got inverted head and shoulders. I mean, 9 out of 10 times that something like this is going to break out. You could say it's a symmetrical triangle and it could go either way. But that looks like it's going to pump to the upside. All right. Hoping the super chat sends. Please check ZBCN. It did send, and you're awesome. Shout out to Steve Trees. So comic lover. I thought it was Cosmic Lover. That knock life. Blessing, Sam. Can you teach on the Stokes and the RSI on Toshi versus holding the 21 moving average on the 4-hour? Conflicted here. Needing a teaching moment. Interesting. So you're holding the 21 on the 4, but you want to look at the Stokes too as well. Bitcoin getting the bounce, everybody. I like it. 103.4. I'm in the ETH trade, so I really, you know, my trade depends on ETH bouncing. I mean on Bitcoin bouncing, because then ETH can rip. If Bitcoin doesn't bounce, ETH's going to have trouble. ETH's going to dump. So I got this bullish divvy too. The 15-minute, it came in. I like this. It looks like it could make a shoulder. It might make another right shoulder too. And then take off. I'm long Ethereum. I gave the trade to the trading group. They know exactly the levels. So if you want to know exactly the trade that I'm doing, you could get into the trading group to find out. It's one of the only trades I opened this morning. It leads the way, Ethereum. And again, if ETH pumps, then virtual will pump. You see what I'm saying? XRP will pump. All the things you guys are asking about today will likely get a nice move to the upside. To the upside. Let's take a look at Toshi here on MEXC and see what's happening to Toshi. I mean, I'm going on this idea, right? Everything's going to move if Bitcoin moves. Everything's going to move if Ethereum moves. base came out because of Ethereum, right? I mean, it's still on chain, but it's basically, you basically bridge Ethereum. That's how it all kind of got started. It's even blue. The whole point is Ethereum starts to move, base chain's gonna move, base chain moves, Toshi moves. I'd look at it on the 15-minute. You saying you were looking at the 4-hour. I mean, you're on the 21 on the 4-hour time frame. He said, I mean, that's amazing. But then you're looking at, let's look at the daily. I mean, the daily's a little overbought away from the 21. You have to put that into account too. So like, sometimes it's going to look nice on these smaller time frames, but then the daily is, and again, it could pump. Each time you do this and the daily gets further away from the 21, the more higher risk the trade goes. Like, there's more high risk now to this trade. Doesn't mean it can't play out. I like the 4-hour touch of the 21. And if you play that most of the time, it's going to be all right. But again, you never know. The daily is pretty overbought. And you have to make that assessment over time. Like, do I want to? For me, I could wait. I could look for a trade that has the exact parameters that this has on the smaller time frames, but the daily's not as overbought. It's going to be a higher, that trade's going to have a better probability. Let's take a look at ZBCN. This thing looked nice to me. I wanted to see it bounce. See, I don't trade it until it bounces. So I don't like to buy the high risk, you know what I mean? You want to get it to bounce, consolidate, then you get in here. Lost the trend line, then right? No go. But dang, ZBCN, no love there. It was starting to look pretty nice, like it was going to bounce, and it had some volume. Again, I've been seeing this a lot lately. There's less people in the market, so they're stop hunting. Like this trade will come up, and then you'll see it rip. Like they're going after the stop hunts at the key levels because there's just less people trading these coins. I'm seeing it like it's a pattern, so you got to be a little more careful now. It's not as easy to trade alts. We don't have tons of retail in here gobbling up price action unknowingly, It's really like good seasoned traders, so they're going after obvious stop hunts. ZBCN coming back, likely to bounce off the 4-hour 200 and then see where it goes. Resistance, a little bit of support and resistance right there. I see this thing, 2-3 weeks from now, a month from now, I see this thing way higher. How that precisely happens, a bounce off this key level in a turn, then you got yourself a cup and handle. And while we haven't drawn a fib the whole show, that fib comes back to like the 618 golden pocket. Looks interesting. So it looks like you could get a lower entry there at 0012892, but you never know, right? It's up to you. I am not a financial buyer. We'll take a look at Solana. StatEv BGN, thank you so much. Let's take a look at Sol USDT here on MEXC. It's kind of my go-to trading. And again, if you want to trade where I trade, you can open up an account, and it's good to have a couple just so you have a backup. You never know, servers or whatever. It's nice you don't have all your money on one exchange. I like to use MEXC Weeks and BitTinex for scalping small time frames. Weeks for, like right now, I have my Ethereum trade open on Weeks. All right, I gave it to the trading group. They know the deal. And my MEXC trade open for like my massive Bitcoin trades. And that's just kind of how I do it. I like to separate my trading because it helps. So I'm looking for the bounce, just like we're looking for the bounce on ETH and Bitcoin. We get the bounce on ETH and Bitcoin. Sol gets the bounce. You see how, this whole day is waiting on this. Otherwise, it is kind of some bearish divvy, right? That's some strong bearish divergence there on the 4-hour time frame. Daily also got rejected at the 200 MA. We gave this trade for Solana out the cup and handle. It was a very simple trade. I had it here on the daily, and we drew the cup. Has a pretty strong measured move even further to 200, but it said we were going to get pretty high. We got to 183. You can't beat that. That's a beautiful trade. So now we're sitting at 176 for Ethereum. And remember, we are just a little far away from that daily 221. So if we pull back to the 21, so be it. Just everything is kind of waiting on this bounce. And Bitcoin's back at 103,260, just kind of hanging out here. And you can see we're at kind of like they know. They're going to see how many people long or short and just kind of go after whoever's kind of over leveraged. So if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a stop loss, you're likely to get liquidated today the way they're playing the market. You'll be part of their plan, and their plan is to get your money. Let's take a look. Shrewdville asked for injective protocol. You know, the awesome DEX for Atom. Let's take a look at Injective. So Injective had a little move out this flag to the upside, looked cool, but now it's doing exactly what Bitcoin's doing. Everything is watching what Bitcoin's doing, everybody. It's either going to take the M pattern down, and nobody knows for sure. I mean, it doesn't look amazing there. That looks like a shoulder, a head, or a right shoulder. And again, it's probably on that 15-minute. Yeah, so it's... Everything is waiting for Bitcoin. Bitcoin gets the bounce, then every coin will bounce. It's crazy, right? Bitcoin runs the show. You'll see, you know, if a coin has a big enough, every once in a while there's a newer coin with a smaller market cap, or even a big market cap, but it came out with such a new buzz. And fine, it will be a little bit, you know, it won't be able to be, you know, in previous, Bitcoin won't be able to kind of like knock it off. It'll have its own. But 90% of coins are going to be moving with Bitcoin. You got to get this bounce back to the top of the channel. We get that. I mean, this is starting to look more bullish. It changes the whole game. This starts to dump. I mean, we got ourselves at an M. You got people looking at it both ways. For me, I can't, you know, I'm waiting for this to dip. I guess I'm calling long because I'm long on Ethereum. So I've made my bed. I'm calling long on all this stuff because I'm long on ETH. So because I put money on ETH, I mean, my actions speak louder than my words. Like, I am long. So I'm showing you what's likely going to happen, and I'm taking the up, you know, and I'm bullishly biased. I'm more likely, if it's 50%, I'm more likely to take bullish every time. Just how I am. PONKE finally got a bit of a move. I still own some PONKE, so I like seeing it pump. And again, whenever you see tight moving averages, we get a pump up to the 200 MA. It's just what's going to happen. That's just the first step of getting out of a bear market, you know. Again, same thing here. Look for PONKE to come to that daily 21 and then continue its move on to the upside. It's either that or it's doing what we just talked about right now. And this doesn't look as good as the rest of the market, though. It looks more like it's going to pull back. It's more bearish divvy there, smaller time frame action. But yeah, just looking for some type of pullback here for PONKE. I'm bullish on it overall, and the whole ecosystem, and altcoins in general, and Bitcoin. So you can see Bitcoin pumps, Solana pumps, meme coins pump. You take advantage of the rest of the market. This is how it works, and that's why you gotta have to be. I'm always scanning altcoins because the direct correlation between the Bitcoin move is the altcoin. Did you sell your pop swing? Why or why not? If you can share, I did sell my POPCAT swing because I put like, I believe about 10K in it, and I had just started swinging. And when we got to about right here, I got out because I was happy with the money and I felt it was high risk. And I did, you know, I'm trading a small meme when the market has just come back to life. And I believe I've got it locked in. You know, I'm good at calling the absolute bottoms and all that. But, you know, I high risk swung traded this. And when I was here, I took the money. It hit the target. I always sell a little earlier than the target because I call why I already go to the target. If I go to the target every time and we don't hit the target, but if I sell about 60 to 70% of the target every time, I'm likely to hit over and over and over again. So I just kind of do what I'm supposed to do because I'm here all the time, man. If you trade as much as me and you do this for a living, you'll do what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you're going to get rocked. You got to have you got to maintain some parameters for like, this is just what I do, right? Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. So let's take a look at POPCAT, you know, subjectively, openly here, objectively here. So it made a nice bounce. It went from 12 all the way to 50 to 60. It did a 5X from the bottom, basically. I mean, it just did about a 5X, a little under that. I mean, that's pretty hot. Three-day chart looking good, but it's finally, you know, it's out of resistance. It finally popped. You know, it went on a monster pump for days, everyone. Everyone's like, the pump's not enough. A lot of people were late too, and then when they see the pump, they're like, oh, so they want more. Then it pulls back when they finally pay attention and they get upset. I get it. I've been there. I mean, we'd love sideways price action, and there's a chance we get it. You know, there is a chance that we just go sideways and we pump. But, you know, don't be surprised if we have to take a little bit of a lump there and a little bit of a pullback. But to me, it's just the daily reconnecting with the 21 and revisiting, getting ready for its next big move. To me, I do see like one last, you know, 2, 3, 4, you know, maybe 3, 4 days from now, at one last chance. And then there, you know, and again, and I could swing trade POPCAT again. Price action does this. It pumps. It goes sideways. It pumps. It goes sideways. It pumps. So why hang in the pump the whole time when we could sell? Get back in here. Pump. Get back in here. Not have to sit in the trade. Not have to keep our money locked in. And if anything crazy happens, not have to be in risk. You know, the more I swing trade, the better I get at swing trading, the better I get at reading the market in and out, in and out, in and out. You know, again, and this is my dream. I used to see this, like, man, one day I'm going to be such a good swing trader. I'm not going to have to hold as much as everybody else. So I'm going to be able to have the guts to sell and get back in more and more and more. It's like I know how the 21 works with the daily time frame, and I can see all this happen. And you'll get here too over time. Like, this will make sense to you as well. You'll have knowledge that people will want, that desire. And shout out to all the awesome super chats. We got TVY who asked about POPCAT. We got Ivan Roke who asked about PONKE. We got Injective, Solana. Super chat from ZBCN, thank you. We looked at Toshi, talked about the mixed ideas he had there on the RSI. 10-year yield from Comic Lover. Token. We looked at XRP from Milligan's Travels. We looked at ONDO. We looked at Tars AI. We looked at GALA. Unbelievable. Shout out to everyone that sent in a super chat today. God bless you all, and thank you. And we get 160 more likes. We ripped past 1,000 likes. I'd greatly appreciate we get to 1,000 likes. That'd be the nicest thing you could ever do. It really helps the algorithm. Remember, I have 3 kids, 3 beautiful daughters, and my wife. All right. Exactly. So yeah, we went over a lot today too as well. Let's jump into the DXY for a split second, kind of ending the stream off right. And you can see we're just looking for this bounce on the 1 hour time frame. The 15 minutes kind of doing the hard work. And we're just looking for this bounce today off this bottom trend line, which looks likely. And that's how we're watching Bitcoin today. That's kind of what I'm going on. All right. Hope you're doing well today, Sam. Ready for today's pump. I'm definitely buying the subscription soon. God bless you, man. Do whatever makes you happy. Thank you so much. You can go to cryptolifer.com. We make it very simple. Go to cryptolifer.com, hit the subscribe button, and there you can subscribe to a monthly, a quarterly, or an annual subscription. And I'm here every single day, no days off, constantly ripping, constantly getting it in. If there's going to be a coin that's hot, I'll find it. You know, I'm not going to find every single thing. I'm not 1,000%, but I'm pretty dang good. And if anyone's going to get you there, it's going to be the lifer. God bless you all for jumping on in today and making this show amazing. There was so many awesome people here that made this show absolutely kicking, and I appreciate it. While everything is pumping, LMWR has been steadily climbing. Let's take a look at that. You know, it's interesting. That's a coin that also has been on my radar slightly, not just because you're mentioning it. Because when I was a kid, we used to use it, you know what I mean? So it kind of sticks out more for me. I looked for the pump here, and it got a beautiful pump, almost hit my target at 12. Now it's playing games. Hopefully we'll get you and the family out to Thailand soon, brother. Treat you and show you gratitude. Truly blessed. Shout out to Milligan's Travels. Hey, you never know. You never know, man. I will travel the world. Bitcoin, I love this. 103,350, just kind of where it was. Again, we started the stream at 103,350, remember. We've been bouncing between 102.7 and 103,350. It's been, and I didn't open a trade right. I know when it's time not to trade, and I know. And it's funny, sometimes the whole time I'm trading, and I'm like, how do I get through the stream when I'm not trading? Other days we didn't trade, and we get through the stream as well. And I know you people want to see the live trade, but we're in a live Ethereum trade. We're going to see where that goes. LMWR's, you know, it ripped nicely, but again, it's going to go on that like soul-searching move here. The daily's back to the 21. Just want to look for it to bounce a bit here and make some type of flag, some way that it can get back, and then it will pump to its 200 MA though. I will watch for it. I'm going to put an alert on it. I'll be able to find a pretty nice setup on it at one point. LimeWire. And let's take a look at virtual. If anything's going to break out, it's things that have utility and people care about. And that's virtual. And so to me, like, virtual is obviously going to get the pump eventually. I feel like it's only a matter of time. We just watch it on this daily time frame. It's setting up very similar to Bitcoin, and I could see a really big monster move out of this thing. And we're talking back to 360, right? And that would be a very, very generous gain. About 83% for virtual. And it's the most probable play in the game right now. So it's definitely something I'm watching. I have a pretty big fat position in it. And I'd like to make a nice big chunk off that move. Again, like, everyone's going to hold it long term and 10x and 30x. And I'm just going to keep swing trading these things with big money and then only holding, like, you know, I don't know, 15 big coins that I care about with Bitcoin. Bitcoin getting the bounce. Bounce, baby, bounce. Doing what it's supposed to do, baby. Off of that 200 MA there. Exactly like it's supposed to. Got back above it. The bullish divergence did kick in. We taught you bullish divvy today. It did play out so far. So if you never knew what divergence was, it's when the RSI is kicking up while price action is kicking down. You should be getting a bounce off that bounce on the RSI there. Low stochastics, you're going to look for that because that one, you want to have that hand in hand. If they go hand in hand, boom. And you'll get the move back to the upside. This is beautiful. And this is what we're looking for. So virtual to me is the next big pumper to the upside. Only a matter of time. You just have to have some patience. Got to be some patience here for virtual. I like virtual. I like it a lot, baby. But yeah, and I have a position in it right now too. So, you know, I am shilling my bag. I got a big position in it. And again, don't do anything you see online. Don't buy anything just because some YouTuber's in it or talks about it. You have to have your own research, have your own conviction. And I don't show coins that I'm just in. I show all sorts of coins. Just I happen to be in some that I show. It just, that's what happens. So Bitcoin 1035, getting the bounce back to the upside. Pretty cool idea here. Again, we're looking to move all the way back to 104.894. This covers the Ethereum trade. And we could look for some small time frame scalps here now on Bit2Next. Shout out to anyone that uses Bit2Next and my link. We greatly appreciate that. Last night I saw this bear flag dropping to 102.7. We got pretty dang close. We got to 102.757. Look at that. All right. So we go to the 3 minute. I like to do the 3 minute here on Bit2Next. The 3 minute is it. Yeah, I saw him the other day walking down the lane, trading a 3 minute on his phone. There he was. Could you believe it? All by himself. Smoking a pipe of tobacco with his pig. Trading a 3 minute down the lane there. So, Bitcoin. I'm looking for this flag, you know, bit of an inverted head and shoulder. Get back above the 200 MA. Looks like maybe this afternoon I could be getting my signal too for a trade. And it is Wednesday. I will take it. But just be wary. We went over Forex Factory and there is going to be some red folders coming our way. You know, also suggests 105,000. BOOKMAP suggests we're going to go up and squeeze these shorts today at some point. So that's another thing that we're looking at. Let's take a look here at the DXY. So the last time I looked at it, I'd like to see it, you know, come a tumbling down, right? Come a tumbling down now. Come a tumbling down now, right? But, and it's in like a bit of a bear flag here that could come a tumbling down. Nah. A tumbling down now. So I don't know why. It just stuff gets addicting when you've got a mic and you can hear your own voice. You'll say all sorts of nonsense. You just will, trust me. We're lucky I don't say other stuff, you know. We're lucky we get through just what I say. A simadana. So the DXY is, to me, in a bit of a burr flag. A burr flag, right? It has this key level that it does like to come back to, kind of bearishly retest. But this is what we're looking for. We're looking for it to continue to dump. Hey, Sam, love the stream. Any thoughts on Stronghold? No, I have no thoughts on it. Yeah. Thank you, though. God bless you, brother. Curtis, I know. I thought I was starting to pump again this morning, so I got back in. Brutal. Yikes. Sarah, I sold right before the dump on Total Luck this morning. My heart dropped when it dumped right after. Wow. Shout out to Mark Pavlik. Don't worry, Mark. As long as you keep pushing. Every trader goes through an up and down period. Every trader loses. I had to lose publicly yesterday. It hurt pretty bad. I hope I don't lose again on this ETH trade. Again, everyone will start to, like, whoa. They don't realize I've been doing this for so long. Like, even a week is just a small data set in my trading. But that's okay. I live and die by the sword, right? By the live stream, man. I get judged by the live every day. A lot of people wouldn't live this life. So I looked for ARKM to break out of that little flag. It dipped again. Look, went after the stops and then ripped. We're going to see this a lot recently just because we don't have. But again, that was the inverted head and shoulder before we got the bigger move. And then ARKM did pump. Same thing for me on ARKM. And it's a boring move, but it looks like every coin's going to do the same thing. Just pick your poison. And it says 4 to 5 days from now, maybe 7 at the very, very most, we'll be ready to pump up to the 200 MA. And all these coins are going to get a big rip. And there's some faith here that Bitcoin's going to continue to pump. We will squeeze these shorts to 105,000 today because how would that all make sense, right? Let's go Panthers. Can't believe Marchard followed you. It's so sad that Marchard left the Bruins, man. But it is what it is. Like, all good things have to come to an end eventually. And my man Doge Lover wants Dogecoin. Let's do it for you, brother, because I know you love me. And again, every time you do something nice, like he didn't send a super chat, he just asked, but I did it for him. He's going to love me for, he's going to tell people I'm the nicest guy. Yeah, you do nice things for people, and man, you turn into a hero. You do regular stuff, and you're a regular person. I'm just telling you, same thing for Doge, man. I see a big pump coming. We just got to get through these little flags here. Let that daily 21 come back to price. And then and it could be a nice sideways flag. Could be some of the last prices you could get before a big Doge pump. I'm a big Doge holder. I got a big old bag of Doge, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I love you, Doge Lover. Anything for you, man. If you love crypto, I love you, bro. Thank you. See how we did that, man? I made a friend. Now I see that guy at Bitcoin, Las Vegas. He's going to be like, wow, you're a nice dude. Who knows what's good or bad? Great parable, wise man said, and his horse. I know, right? Remember that? Exactly. Shiver me timbers, it actually looks good. It does. I mean, that's a cup and handle on Doge. And rounded bottoms pay the bills, man. We start to round these bottoms. Bang, bang, bang. Rounded bottoms pay the bills, said my mentor. 5 years ago, when I first started hearing that, 6 years ago, maybe. Insanity. Tell me about it over here. Hey, Rave Saw Records over here. Flagging before the big pump. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a nice cup and handy for Doji Boy. And then actually extends the measured move. I could be here all day with you. I just realized I could do, I just realized I could sit here all day and just talk crypto with y'all. Shoot the crypto-ish with y'all. Can you give me your Boston salty accent? Hey, over here. Oh, Boston. Hey, get in the car, kid. Brooklyn mob attack Crown Heights. Only going to say this one's going to keep it fresh. I'll keep it in to the topic. Just in, Ripple meets with UAE officials to discuss digital payment infrastructure and accelerating financial innovation. They're trying to say, hey, everyone's connected. We'll connect you too, and then everyone can move swiftly. Get it? Did anyone get it? I don't know. The SWIFT system. Hey. Financial guru jokes over here. Hey. And again, I am not a financial guru. I don't take money. I don't look at your portfolio. Okay, so I'm not a financial guru. What I am is I'm an educator. I've been watching these charts for a long time. I've been trading markets for a long, long time. And, I got basically almost coming up on 20 years under my belt of trading the market. Buying and selling, feeling my emotions, understanding what's happening when you're in a trade. being able to keep your calm, handling losses and coming back stronger. You know how many losses I took to get here, everybody, to be able to afford these suits and to get where I'm at in life. I came every single day, and everyone says, oh, you're an influencer, you're online now and all that. And I get it. But even just to get here, man, I had to show up every single day to have the position I have in the industry now. And so you can't take that away from me either. Like, everything I have is from hard work, everyone. No matter what I do, what I did, and how I do it. I busted my butt and I showed up every single day. No excuses. No matter how I felt, no matter what was happening, I stayed motivated. I listened to Jim Rohn. I worked out in the morning. I believed in God. I believed in each and every one of you, and I believed in myself. Because you're your own hero to your own story, or you're the victim. Either it's your fault while you're there, or it's not. Once you take full responsibility for everything that's happened to you in your life, you're going to be ready to be free, because then you're free. Then nothing can stop you. Then you know that life is going to throw some things at you. You can get flat tires. Your car can hit a pothole. You didn't know that was going to happen, but it did. But that doesn't mean you can't just get out and say, no matter what, I'm going to find a way. I always go back to being in Las Vegas the day that I had everything set up. I'm in the hotel room. I'm all excited. And I wasn't there for anything else. There was no big conference. I was there. There happened to have been a Cardano event, but I was there just to see, a couple people in business that I had set up. And I get there and the internet's so bad, I go through like 8 minutes and the stream's shutting down. And people are like, we can't watch you. It's horrible. And someone says, oh, I think I know this guy, Rob, Sin City Crypto. Like, I think they would love to have you and help you out. Thank God at the time I had a pretty big channel. I think it was like 30,000, 40,000 subs. And they had like 10 or 12,000, right? So, when you just get started, I mean, you got to link with anybody who's got anything going on in your industry if they're willing to, if you like the vibe. And so he's like, man, you should link up with them. And I'm sitting there in the hotel room really beside myself thinking, what am I going to do now? I got no internet. I got to move somewhere else. I don't even want to be in this hotel room. My whole day's ruined. It's like 7 in the morning because I have to stream early, right? So it's like 8 in the morning at this point. And I'm like, man, this is like whack. And I actually moved hotel rooms. Like, I said I got to move. And I took all my stuff and I left that hotel room. I told them I can't stay here because the internet isn't good enough. And Rob DM'd me on Twitter. And next thing you know, I was in Sin City Studio, and they said, can you do our stream next with us? And and then I got to leave my stuff there and stream from their studio. Now when I go to Las Vegas, like, I already talked to Rob. He showed me the place. He's like, we already got your 3 screens and your stand-up desk, Sam. Everything's all set for you, buddy. You know what I mean? And like, so that was a day that I thought was going to be a horrible thing that happened to me. And it turned out to be the best thing. And every time I hit an obstacle now, I tell myself it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. I lose a huge trade. Something goes wrong. It doesn't feel good. I say, man, that's going to be the best win you ever had. At P&L, that's just one of the L's in the P. You're going to turn that P&L into something amazing. I know you are, Sam. And I have a talk with myself. And so, like, every single loss is a win, folks. Every single time you go down, you got to turn it into a win. Every single time. And you get better at it. It becomes a muscle. And you're never down anymore. The old you that used to get down on yourself, the old you used to blame the world, it just doesn't exist. Because once you change fully and that frequency switches, it's almost impossible to go back again. Like, you'll have times, hours where you're the old guy for a second, but you'll snap out of it and you realize that your mind is everything. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jamal Antonio. Life is a funny way of sneaking up on you. Life is a funny, funny way of helping you out, right? It does, man. The charts are more predictable than, amen. 103,500 Bitcoin getting the bounce off of the bullish divergence. We had you at hello here. We caught the possible daily bottom yet again. We'll see how this plays out. Basically, it's better to be at the bottom of a ladder you want to climb than halfway up the one you don't. Amen. Yeah, see, once you flip and change how you look at things, you'll just never be the same. So now, like, I used to look at things and I'd be worried and scared. Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to the internet? What could happen to my show? I have this streak. Look at the faith I've had to have in this streak. To keep the streak alive, I had to have faith. I had to have faith that the streak was never going to stop, this live stream streak, Shout out to Weeks for the live stream trophy, the Ultimate Stream Streak Award. And we're not going to stop here. We continue to stream. But anyway, I love you all. God bless each and every one of you. Stay strong, stay amazing. I see some big moves in these altcoins coming up. We just got to weather the storm here for the next, couple of days. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. And we'll be back later on. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, for an amazing live stream. Please follow me on Crypto Life on X at CryptoLifer33. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you want to sign up to my class, I teach a live class. All right, the last Saturday of every month, it will be the 31st. I fly home Friday, so there's no reason I can't do the class Saturday morning. I'll be able to be there and be square for you guys. Hit the link or the QR code. That's going to be an amazing class. Get ready, man. The market could shift, and you won't have the skills you need to figure out what's happening. In 3 hours with me, I'm going to change the way you look at these charts for the rest of your life. It's like wearing 3D goggles and glasses now. The live stream will help you. Everything will help you. I'm here to help you. God has helped me. I'm here to help you. I do make money. I'm not saying I'm not a businessman. I sell my time. I sell what I have. I sell my knowledge. But I'm here to help you. I could do it all. I could sit by myself and just do this alone. It's fun to do. I do a business that helps others in a way too as well. So shout out to everybody here. Crypto Billy says it's the best class on the planet. God bless everybody. If you want to sign up to my trading group and get the calls like the Ethereum call we just made, go to CryptoLifer.com to find out more. And one last thing I'll flash. This is why would you sign up? Well, we got those gains, baby. And people do get, Wojak. I put out Wojak. It boomed out that flag perfectly. 104% gains for Wojak. And we saw this on the live stream. Tight. Boom to the upside. Beautiful move. Jasmine for 41% out the inverted head and shoulder. Blasting. All right. And POPCAT, that was my, I love that. Traded up for 67 right to the target. Accurate call for Bitcoin short to the downside out the symmetrical triangle. Accurate call for the short just the other day. I think it was Monday, the 12th. Today is 2 days ago. And so, Farcoin to the upside. I have elite traders looking through the market too as well as me. So we got a whole team of people scanning the market, and no one does it like the lifer. God bless everybody here. I'll see you all tomorrow for a beautiful live stream back at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Stay amazing, stay blessed, stay pocket squared up. Red on red, baby. Let's go. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I'll catch you on the flip side. And remember, I studied all the most famous, successful people in life, artists, authors, teachers, motivational speakers, multimillionaires, billionaires. And you know what I found? They said you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And they said the secret to success, you know what it is? There's a secret to success that every single one of them knew. The secret to success is getting started.
time. Think about me.